everyone. This morning I'm going to do a pot of flowers and I'm going to do them quick. I already have my colors laid out. I have several of the pink. I have an orange. I have several different colors of teal and greens. I use black, yellow, and then several greens, and I have a purple and a bunch of white. So I've got it all laid out, and I want to work kind of quickly and see if I can get something to come out. So what I'm going to start with is I'm going to start with some orange, so I just get some orange in my background. And this is just an interesting way to start because it's probably going to mostly get covered up, but some of it may pop through at the end. So I've got my orange in. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take some purple. Get my brush over here. I'm going to draw with purple. That will give me some shadows. It will also outline some stuff. Like I said, a lot of this is going to get covered up. So I'm going to just kind of plop my pot in. Basic shape. Like I said, a lot of this will get covered, and I got to figure out the shape of my flowers. I kind of like something here. I like them going off the page. Come around here. Maybe a leaf right there. Something here. Try not to line everything up straight across, but this is just a beginning. I'm going to add a little blue to my shadow, to my purple, and pull that out like that. And then I want the shadow at the bottom dark, and then kind of to lighten up, and just kind of swirl that around. All right, I like that shape. And then I always like to put a table line in. All right, one thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and make the vase purple because I'm going to, I love old pottery, and I'm going to end up doing this pot teal, but if some of this purple could show through, it would look like shadows. So I've got to let it dry before I plop the teal on. But I like that. I think what I'm going to do is take a flat brush, and I'm going to get several different types of pinks. I'm going to get a little dark, a little light, and maybe just a touch of white on my brush. And then I know I want kind of a big flower here, and I don't really want an exact, not trying to draw a flower in because I want it a little looser than that. All right, I've got two pinks on my brush. I'm going to come up here, just plop them in and leave some of that orange. Again, I'm going to get some more. I might just pick up a little bit of that orange and come over here with some pink. It's 1, 2, 3, maybe a small one there. And that was some pink. Put some darks, some darker pink down kind of in the where the shadow on these flowers would be. And I need another one right here. All right, So we just got some blobs of pink in there. Again, I might make that bottom just a little darker. One thing I always do also is I have a baby wipe so that I can just touch here and there and soften up edges. All right, I like that. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use the same flat brush. It's fun to try just different brushes and different strokes. And like I said, at this point, I'm not trying to be exact or paint exact flowers. I'm just trying to get the impression. I like to mix black and yellow for my green. It gives me a nice dark green. And I just want to plop some in here where I think where it would make sense that there's darks, and kind of cover the edge of that pot. Probably be some dark right up in here, a little there, spot there. All right, I like that. I can scratch it with my brush to get some movement in there, and then I can take my baby wipe and just touch it here and there. If I touch it here, see how that color shows through? So you can just kind of keep touching. Adding a little here, because I can put the pink back on top of it. But I like that. And so I've got some nice dark greens in there. And I like to use a lime green, kind of touch the top of these where the light would be hitting. Not cover up the green, but, and then again I can touch where, just here and there where. Okay, I like that. So now I'm going to take a small round brush, and I want my background to be kind of a bluish. So I have and I'm just going to take this brush and kind of carve out, leaving some of the pot, leaving my table line, just carving around. Right there I left some orange. I can touch here and there to soften that edge. Just, okay, I like that shape. All right, let's come up here. We got the flowers there. I like that purple right there. We come in. Carve around this. Leave that purple. And I can go over this several times. So right now it's just, I'm just looking at the shapes. I like that shape, that shape. Even the negative shapes, which is the blue, I think that looks good. Okay. And then I come over to this corner, and again, just carve in here. Leave that little bit of purple there. All right, and now we're going to do this bottom corner. And again, I'll go over this several times, maybe, unless I just love it after the first pass. Sometimes it just works right away, and other times I have to put 10 layers on. But it's fun to just, I love this technique because you can just keep going over and over. I can use the end of my brush to make shapes that I might, that makes sense. Okay, I like that leaf. I think I want to bring this flower up a little bit. Maybe wouldn't be something like that. Each time you put a layer on, if it's wet, it'll just blend. And it'll show some of that through. I like that. I think it needs something else right there. So I'm going to take my flat brush again. I'm going to get some of that dark pink, a little bit of light pink, and kind of put another something in here. All right, I like that, and I think it could use a little, maybe just a bloom right there. And just like hit it with the back of your brush. You can touch here and there. Remember that orange that I did underneath? If I kind of take my baby wipe and dig, I can get some of that to pop through. Recover a little bit. Just sort of hitting here and there. All right, I like that. I'm going to, I think I'm just going to do the tablecloth white. So I'm just going to take my brush. I'm going to try to leave a little bit of that purple line. I'm holding my brush like this. I'm not even holding it up at the top. I can always take the end of my brush and pull that back out. I want a crooked line right there. I want my horizon to be straight. So I could leave some of that orange. I'll just leave it for now and see. And then I want to leave my shadow. I might leave some of that orange right there. Knock some of it back. Do I like it? Let's see. Okay, I like that. Put a little of that orange. I can always cover it up, but I'm holding the brush so loosely that I don't have a ton of control over it. But sometimes that's better. I don't want it to look just absolutely painted. I mean, like exact. The paint dries, the acrylic dries so fast that, see, I can go over it again. And I don't mind the edges being a little messy. I think it looks, like I said, I want it a little bit not exact. All right, I like the flowers. I like the leaves. I can reach in here and touch it here and there. If I see like a line that I can even all right, I'm going to work on the pot for a minute. I want that to be, I think I want it to be a turquoise, and I'm trying to make it look like an old crackled pot. So I have a jelly plate here. I'm going to take my teal And I'm going to add it to my jelly plate in sort of the shape. And then I'm going to press it on. Okay. Kind of gave that look I was looking for. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mix a little of a darker teal up, and I'm going to come up this side, and I'm going to try to leave some of that crackle in there, although I might end up covering it up and then retouching it. But I'll pull my shadow back out. Alright, I'm going to add a little white to that color. I want, in order to give the vase a rounded shape, I'm going to do dark over here, and then I'm going to do light over here. I'm going to try to leave some of that purple kind of as a shadow. I could leave a little bit more over here too. Kind of like that. You want to go ahead and bring that into there. Just kind of touch it and mess with it until I like it. It needs to be a little darker on this side. And if I dry my brush really good and then barely touch it, I can blend it. Other thing I want to do is I want some of that color up in here. Put a little splotch right there, just maybe in 3 different spots. So where else? I could put it right. So that's a little spot. Touch, 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 touch. And then maybe one more. Bigger spot right there. I like that. Could just put a little bit and touch it. Okay, I like that. Let's see, I might oh, I like the pot. Let me get a little more dark. Let me round this out over here. Alright. So I can hit it with the end of my brush. I can tap it. Like I said, if you dry your brush and then you can blend. Alright, that's pretty. I'm going to do the background again. I'm going to take some of that lighter blue. And I can come right up to what I like and that's pretty. And then just touch it here and there so that it softens it, pulls it a little bit in. I kind of carve it out because I see what I like now. So I kind of carve it out, but then I'll touch it to bring maybe a little bit more of that background back in. Okay, I like that. I might go a little darker on this side. Again, I'm holding the brush really loose, so I don't have a ton of control over it, but Try not to cover up that purple that I left right there. Trying to leave some of the covers, but it leaves some of that background. This again, I don't have to hit the whole thing. I can kind of just the corner, leave touch. This side, if the light's hitting this way, this side's going to be even lighter over here. Don't want to lose that pretty color right there, so all right, I'll touch it right there and bring it back in. Kind of looking at the shape of my pot. Does it make sense? Doesn't have to be exact. This is just a painting, but I don't mind it being a little wonky. I like that. All right. Now I'm going to do the bottom one more time. I'm going to get the white, and it's already dry, so I can oh, I like that. That's really making everything else pop. The shadow's interesting. I'm not trying to make it exact. I just like that dark right there, and it kind of pops a little bit here and there, and bring the shadow down like that. Trying to leave this dark here, so I'll touch that with my end of my brush. And okay, I can keep working on this. But sometimes it's just better to stop when you feel close. I'm gonna do a little bit of lighter here. Dry my brush really good so that I can blend it. And then where I touch it right there, touch. Okay, I like that. See, that gives a gradation of that light into medium into a darker. I could even take some pure that blue and put it down here. All that I've got other stuff on my brush. So like I said, I could keep going and going. I could paint on this for another hour, but I'm going to stop right there. I think you can see how you can start really loose and then carve something out and just touch and dab and dot. And I think that's real pretty. Thank you for watching.